What's going on, guys? Jay Tsuro, Jay with the Pay. Hope you're doing well and swell. Guys, I want to talk about why we rent our life in today's day and age. Guys, look around at how most people are living right now. We're being squeezed from every angle. But half the time, honestly, we're the ones that are going with it, you know. Somewhere along the line, it all flipped. It used to be that, you bought a product or goods or service, you paid for it once, you owned it, and that was the end of the deal. Today, are you kidding me? Everyone wants a piece of your monthly income. We've been conditioned to think that convenience is an absolute necessity. But most of what we're paying for today, folks, is not just convenience. It's just frictionless ways to drain our accounts. Companies, they don't want you to sell something just one time. They want to lease your life back to you on a reoccurring subscription. You've got 5 different streaming services, 3 phone apps you haven't opened in 6 months, premium tiers for software you could easily use for free, and delivery apps where there's service fees, the cost keeps going up, and it's more than the actual food. Honestly, we're living in a modern day subscription scam. It's, subtle, and it's specifically designed so you don't notice it, you don't pay attention to it, okay? We are in a era of death by 1,000 cuts. All right, this is how they've done it, right? This is what they do. They keep the numbers small. They know you won't throw a fit over $9.99 a month. You look at that as just, a single charge on your bank statement, and it's like, okay, it's just $10. Like, who really cares, right? But it's never just $10. Multiply that over 12 months, and then multiply that across 4 or 5 or 6 different subscriptions. Suddenly, you're letting thousands of dollars a year bleed out of your bank account on complete nonsense. You're literally burning probably the equivalent of a mortgage payment or, some serious investment capital every single year just for the privilege of owning, 0 tangible assets, things you can actually hold. I mean, think about it. Every single dollar you hand over to a subscription, random expense, reoccurring, monthly, whatever, right? You barely use, that's a dollar you could have had working for you. That's capital that could have been going toward a down payment on a property, building an emergency fund, buying physical assets, or just lowering your financial stress. When you let all these subscriptions, reoccurring charges, just accumulate, sit on autopilot, you're choosing to, give your money to these companies instead of, building something your own and a stable foundation. All right. You guys, I mean, this is not a game. You've got to be serious. Do you want to be the 90-year-old, Walmart greeter? I don't think so. I don't want to be that. No knock to if you're watching this and that's what you do. I don't want to be 90 years old greeting at Walmart. So, whenever you talk about living frugal, people automatically assume, you're like sacrificing everything. You can't do anything. Look, guys, it means enjoying your life, right? You choose to spend on things that you actually want to indulge in, okay? When you start looking at your personal finances like a business, everything changes. A business doesn't keep paying for ongoing service if it doesn't generate a return or serve a critical function. Why should your household, operate any differently? I've started operating my personal accounts like a business. It makes a huge difference. Highly recommend it. I track it in a spreadsheet, Excel, and it works great. Okay, if an expense isn't helping build equity in your future, you have to protect your energy, or, you've got to move the needle to adjust for your long-term goals, okay? You got to keep things simple, guys. You need to audit. You need to know what's going on at all times. You got to have a pulse on the spending, right? So what can we do here? Okay, if you're in this situation, you've got recurring subscriptions and, you don't even know where your money's going. you've got to get aggressive. Okay, look over all your bank statements. You can't just kind of glance at your mobile app from time to time. You have to audit every single cent, line by line item, like an inspector. All right, look for the random charges, the free trials you forgot to cancel, the gym membership you haven't used since January. Let's be honest. January 2nd, you quit using that. The cloud storage that you may or may not need. I got that one. I'm trying to get out of it. It's very difficult. So here's the rule, guys. Like, if you haven't used a reoccurring service in 30 days, I would just cancel it. I will cycle out of my different subscriptions, right? I'll go to Spotify, Audible, Apple Music, HBO Max. I will cycle subscriptions to make it just a couple at a given time, right? And then you can always use it in the future if it's something that you miss. But don't let these companies, just sit and idle in your checking account like a leeching parasite, while you're trying to get your stuff figured out. Force every single reoccurring charge to make the value be known and be worth it for you, okay? At the end of the day, it's the end of the day, okay? Financial freedom isn't just about, all the money you make. When you save money, you're earning money. So if you can keep your expenses low, guys, it's an absolute game changer, okay? Look through your statements, do a financial audit, check, the mobile app all the time, see what's coming out, operate it like a business. Take this seriously. You don't want to be that 90-year-old Walmart greeter. I'm telling you. Maybe you do. Maybe that's your calling. I don't know. Anyways, guys, if you made it to the end of the video, these are just some thoughts. It's good to kind of know where your money's going, good to live frugal, and at the end of the day, you got to take this serious. This is what they want. They want you to rent your whole life. They want you to rent everything. They don't want you to have ownership, which ownership is how you create wealth, okay? If you guys got something out of this video, I would appreciate if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, we're trying to make it here on YouTube, and I just got wind that YouTube is going to be changing the way that you can even get monetized. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to do this regardless. I'll just keep making videos just because I like it. But I can't tell you, it's definitely something on my mind that they're about to up the freaking requirements. So help a boy out. If you made it to the end of the video, leave, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. It lets me know that you guys watched. And if you got something out of it, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.